Alright, let's dive into something that's been making waves in the media industry lately. Imagine this. One of Europe's biggest broadcasters, ProSiebenSat.1's, just reported a 9% revenue drop in the first half of the year. Sounds alarming, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just a random slip-up, it's a perfect storm of structural shifts, cyclical challenges, and strategic missteps. Personally, I think this story is a microcosm of the broader struggles traditional media companies are facing in the digital age. Let's break it down. First off, what's hitting ProSiebenSat.1 the hardest? Two things: the declining TV advertising market and the fact that their competitors snagged the World Cup rights. Now, the World Cup is a massive event. It's like the Super Bowl on steroids, globally. If you don't have those rights, you're missing out on a huge chunk of ad revenue. But here's the kicker: this isn't just about one event. It's a symptom of a larger trend. Money is moving away from traditional TV, and fast. From my perspective, this isn't just a cyclical dip, it's a structural shift that's here to stay. What many people don't realize is that even if ProSiebenSat.1 had the World Cup rights, they'd still be battling against the tide of cord cutting and digital migration. Now, let's talk about their response. ProSiebenSat.1 is pivoting to digital, and they're putting a lot of emphasis on their streaming service, Joyn. On the surface, this makes sense. Everyone's streaming these days, right? But here's where it gets tricky. The streaming market is already saturated with giants like Netflix, Disney+, and Amazon Prime. Joyn is seeing an uptick in revenue, sure, but is it enough to offset the losses from traditional TV? In my opinion, they're playing catch-up in a race they didn't start. What this really suggests is that simply having a streaming service isn't a silver bullet. You need a unique value proposition, and I'm not convinced Joyn has cracked that yet. Another detail I find fascinating is how they're managing costs. ProSiebenSat.1 cut programming expenses by over €90 million year-over-year, partly due to changes in how they amortize content costs. They also slashed personnel costs by €117 million. Now, cost-cutting is a quick way to boost profitability, but it's not a sustainable long-term strategy. If you take a step back and think about it, these cuts could impact the quality of their content, which in turn could drive more viewers away. It's a delicate balance, and I'm not sure they've struck it perfectly. Despite all this, ProSiebenSat.1 managed to post an EBITDA profit of €124 million. On paper, that looks like a win. But here's the thing: profit doesn't tell the whole story. It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. The real question is, can they sustain this profitability while fundamentally transforming their business model? Marco Giordani, the group CEO, talks about strict cost discipline and targeted investments in the future. But what does that actually mean? Are they investing enough in innovation, or are they just cutting costs to buy time? This raises a deeper question: can traditional media companies truly reinvent themselves, or are they just delaying the inevitable? What makes this really interesting is how ProSiebenSat.1's story reflects a global trend. Traditional media is under siege everywhere, not just in Germany. From my perspective, the companies that will survive are the ones that don't just adapt to change, but anticipate it. ProSiebenSat.1 is trying, but are they moving fast enough? Personally, I think their focus on digital is a step in the right direction, but they need to be bolder. Maybe they should explore partnerships, acquire niche platforms, or even rethink their content strategy entirely. One thing that immediately stands out is that they're still too reliant on traditional revenue streams, and that's a risky game in 2026. So, what's the takeaway here? ProSiebenSat.1's struggles aren't just their problem, they're a warning sign for the entire industry. If you're a traditional media company, you can't afford to be reactive. You need to be proactive, innovative, and willing to take risks. As for ProSiebenSat.1, I'm cautiously optimistic about their digital push, but they've got a long road ahead. What do you think? Is their strategy enough to turn things around, or are they fighting a losing battle? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of media and business. Until next time, keep thinking critically and stay curious.